Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Deep Rock Galactic. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Zero. Let's get to it. So today we're doing the deep dive codenamed Useless Overlook. But before we get to that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. So let's get into it. Stage 1 of the deep dive has you extracting crystallized Morkite, 250 of those, and 2 alien eggs. So the alien eggs, you're just going to look for that organic looking matter on the side of the wall, and then go for the glowing bit. Should be a glowing red piece in there, and that's where the egg's at. Pluck it out, put it into the mule, and get ready for the enemies that are going to be coming after you. Each alien egg has, I would say, about a 50% chance of causing a swarm to spawn. Even if it doesn't, you're still going to have to deal with half a dozen or maybe more enemies. So just be ready for it. And of course, with 2 alien eggs, you're pretty much guaranteed to at least have 1 swarm from those 2 eggs. Deal with the swarm, and of course, keep your eyes open for Morkite. It's the blue, gray, shimmery stuff. Even in the dark, you can see it once you get close enough. And while you're looking for Morkite, also keep your eyes open for gold and nitra while you're at it. Because gold, of course, will add to your credits at the end of the deep dive, and nitra will help you stay flush with ammo throughout the deep dive. Each time you get 80 nitra, that can call in 1 resupply pod with 4 sections, and each section will resupply half of everything. So your grenades and your traversal tools, as well as some of your health, and of course your main and secondary weapon. So once you have all the Morkite and both alien eggs, then you can call in the drop pod. So you can make a mad dash for it, or you can go behind the mule and make your way to the drop pod. It's whatever you want to do. If you have a good idea, or pretty good idea of where it's at, you can hoof it and make it there ahead of time. Then you just have to defend the area. If you want, you can go with the mule, just follow it. It'll put down little flags behind it, so you always know what direction it's going. And you can do that. Occasionally the mule will go vertically up a cliff face or something of that nature, through a hole that a resupply pod came through, because it'll take the fastest way, whatever it is, and sometimes that is the fastest way. So if you have a way to get there that is a little bit longer, instead of, because you don't have anti-grav boots, make your way however you can to the drop pod. Do look out for the swarms of enemies that are going to be coming after you. This is a good time to point out that the deep dive is a raid-like environment with 3 stages that you can do by yourself with your buddy Bosco, or with up to 3 other friends, either pre-made or match-made. So it's really up to you. If you want to do the deep dive by yourself, it's entirely possible to do by yourself, and you should be able to do it, but you don't have to. It's whatever you want to do. Just know that it will likely take longer for you to do it by yourself, even with the help of Bosco, than if you were in a group of 3 or 4 players. So once you get to the drop pod, if the mule has already docked, you'll be able to get on right away. If it has not, you'll have to wait, defend the area, because enemies will spawn within a certain range of wherever the players are at. So defend the area until the mule gets back. You can always use your laser pointer to figure out about how far away the mule is at. Make sure to help out. your fellow dwarves get back to the drop pod, as your bonus does include survival. So the more dwarves that survive each level, the bigger the bonus will be at the end. Once the door is open, hop in there and get on the drop pod and move on from stage 1 on to stage 2. Look at that. We're already 1/3 of the way done. No big deal. Now, I did get a dark Morkite brew before starting the deep dive, which helped out. In this particular one, it adds 20% of all of all Morkite that you mine. Alright, so on to stage 2 of the deep dive. Stage 2 has elite threats as a modifier. Unlike the first stage, which had none, you're doing a whole salvage operation with 3 mules, or mini mules, and 2 alien eggs. So it's all about the alien eggs this week. So the mini mules, you're going to look and listen for the glowing green pulsing light, plus the beeping sound. Make sure that you look out for enemies. Deal with them as you can, as you're going along. And of course, keep your eyes open for Nitra and gold. Deposit it in the mule. And all stages of the deep dive has a mule this time around. So once you find one, you can scan it. That'll show you where the missing legs are. The missing legs will be on your terrain scanner. Plus, they'll have that slight white light, and it'll pulse slightly. Let's go ahead and pick them up, reattach them onto the mule. Once you get all the legs reattached, all you have to do is repair it and bring it back to function, basically. Now, elite enemies in this stage of the deep dive are just like any other enemy. So it's a random spawn that happens. It's one of these random bugs. They'll glow slightly red. They'll have a big elite over their name. They'll be a little bit faster, have more hit points, and hit harder. So you do want to prioritize those elite threats as quickly as possible, because they will quickly take out your entire team. So make sure that you're on the lookout for them. Go ahead and let your team know that they're around so that they can deal with them, and everyone can kind of prioritize that threat. Alien eggs, of course. You're going to look for that organic material on the sides of the wall with a little red glowing light, which will show you the direction of where the egg is at in that mess. And for some reason, the bugs don't like it when you take their eggs, and they'll come after you when you do take one. And of course, there is a chance that you'll have a swarm that'll spawn as a result. So do keep your eyes and ears open and deal with the bugs as they show up. Now, once you have all 3 mini mules and both alien eggs, you can go ahead and send the mules back to the derelict drop pod, but you'll have to get the uplink up and running. So this is a zone control. Just stay inside of that sphere. Progress will go up. The more people that are in the sphere, the faster it'll go. If no one's in there, you'll start losing progress. If you get down to 0%, then you lose, and you'll have to restart the deep dive from stage 1. Once you're done with that, you'll have to refuel. They'll send in a refuel pod. You have to hook it up, and then, of course, do the same zone control. Once again, just in a slightly different spot, depending on how far away one is from the other. Once you're done with that, you'll have to wait a minute and a half for the drop pod to power up. You can kind of run around, keep those enemies at bay that way, or you can deal with them directly by destroying them. Once the countdown gets to 0, the door will open and it's time to get out. And that's it for stage 2. Look at us, already over 2/3 of the way there. Now, of course, the reason to do, or one of the main reasons to do the deep dive, is for those matrix cores. They'll give you cosmetics, skins, and of course, overclocks for your weapons. Now, stage 3 of the deep dive has regenerative bugs as a modifier, and you're doing industrial sabotage this time, and alien eggs. Again, alien eggs are the theme for the week. So keep an eye open for the organic material. Dig them up, put them away. Look out for the bugs that are going to be after you. And this time around, you're going to have the machines, the rival company, coming after you as well. So look for turrets, look for shredders, patrol bots, etc. Now this particular swarm included a detonator, which is a giant beastly creature that is likely to wipe out your entire team if you're bunched together and close to the detonator. So make sure that you are spread out. And after you defeat them, it's not over, because the detonator has one last gasp to take you out. It'll make a big explosion and then throw out some bombs. If you get hit, it's basically automatic game over. So make sure that your team is spread out and, of course, away from the detonator in order to take care of that. So at least one person survives. Now you're going to follow the power cords to the power stations. Call in the Haxibot. They'll send one in. You might be able to see it come down. Maybe not. You might have to wait for it to drop and then look for it. And then once you do that, you're going to connect the HackerBot to the power station to bring it offline. Because that is the only way that you're going to get to the data rack. Now, unlike normal missions, the deep dive has 2 mandatory objectives instead of 1 mandatory and 1 optional objective. So you have to get the alien eggs and do the industrial sabotage. You don't have a choice of what you want to do. Alright, once you have it connected, you're going to have the HackerBot, or Haxi, hack the power station, and of course deal with the swarms of enemies that are going to be coming at you. Once you're done with that, don't forget you have another power station that you'll have to do the same thing. Call in the HackerBot, hook it up, hack it, defend, and then of course you're done. Except for except for the caretaker that you now have to deal with. So the shield's on battery power, you knock out the batteries, and then you start the boss fight, which is the caretaker. So it is invulnerable, and then you have shields that you have to take out. There's vents on the side towards the top, you can see them floating there. Do enough damage, and then they'll seal up against the caretaker. Once they are all taken care of, then you're ready to move on to the damage phase. So make sure that you're dodging and weaving where appropriate. And then, of course, once you have the shields down, look for that open eye. There's only 1 out of the 4 sides that'll have an open eye. Big red eye. There it is. And go ahead and do as much damage as quickly as possible. And then after you do a certain amount of damage, it'll close, it'll go invulnerable, and then it'll open somewhere else. Figure out where it is open once again, and then do, like I said, do as much damage as quickly as possible. It'll stay open until it starts taking damage, and then boom, they'll go invulnerable, and you move on to the next phase. And each phase gets more complicated with either shredders or patrol bots or sniper turrets or phase bombs, something to add a little more chaos to your boss fight. Just do that for all 3 sections of health that it has, and then you're done. You've taken out the caretaker. All you have to do is collect that data rack and get out, and you're done. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.
I called for the mule.
Drop pod has arrived. Retrieving the mule. Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Access provided. Let's head for the drop. I ordered a resupply.
Supply pod launched. Better stand back.
I like the sound of that. I really can't use this for anything. I ordered a resupply. Resupply arrived. Go resupply.
Hang in there. Supplies are on the way.
Ready to shoot. Don't get too attached now.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes.
Pod is here. Everybody collect ammunition.
The mule has been successfully retrieved. Make it snappy, team. The drop pod won't hang around forever. Stand back. Supply pod inbound.
Red sugar. It's getting into all my nooks and restock. Sticking it to the bugs. Resupply ordered.
Supplies are on the way.
I ordered a resupply.
Supply pod launched. Better stand back.
By the beard! The resupply is here.
Retrieving escape pod.
Resupply arrived. Go restock.
PlayStation